Hey guys, welcome back. So, this will be probably good news to some and bad news to others. This will be the last lore video for the foreseeable future in this game. It will be pretty simple to go through stuff. I'll just have to pick, more or less, not really cherry pick, but just grab things and say, kind of here's what it is, because some of it takes an exhausting amount of time to do. Also, there's a lot of stuff that is either not implemented in the game. For instance, if you go to Mount Holly's shop, there is the Digi blocks, whatever it's called. That's not implemented and will come soon. If you look in the utility closet, there's a cabinet that's crossed out, which is probably the arcade cabinet Digi blocks in the game. You can find it in the commissary. So all of that stuff is kind of not implemented and together and related to each other. There's also, again, there's a number of things that could be hints, but no one knows to what and or why or how. So yeah, I'm just gonna kind of cover things because we have the way we've done things. We can make this end nicely for the sake of people who don't want to spend their lives in this game, aka me. Yeah, I love the lore. Don't get me wrong. I love the lore. I love the puzzle solving, but we are not about spending our entire lives on a single game. So we will get into it. The first thing I want to talk about. Day 124. Dang. This will not be the last video. I'll also say that I'm going to do dare mode. I'm going to do curse mode. I'm going to get all the trophies. But this will be the last video regarding the lore, regarding the story of the game. So. Hold on, I'm also on the Discord right now, trying to figure out. There's one thing that we entered and didn't see, so I'm trying to make sure exactly where it is. Anyway, so I have the idea though. So the long and the short, things that we will find in today's episode. We will go over some clues that we didn't really cover. They were kind of open, whatever you call it, open questions. But yeah, let's go ahead and hop into the game and start hitting stuff, and then we can talk about it as we go. First of all, a lot of things are self-referential. For instance, we had the in the library the note, the tinted rose vine or whatever it was. That, as well as Does It Never End, and uh, something else. They were all anagrams of each other. So, with that being what it is, stuff like that exists, but we won't cover it. Just know that most things are just anagrams of themselves. Major Nicholas Key IV, no one has gotten anything with that. It's just, he's a guy and they're major keys, and there may or may not even be 12 of them. Because the note in the darkroom technically is red because of the red light in the darkroom, so there's no guarantees on what that's all about. We will skip first to the grotto. Man, I hope I don't need to get... we'll just assume that everything's in the grotto, not how to spin the steps to get it. But in the grotto, there is a way to find out the secret. Oh, these lights are red. Yep. That's gonna cost 2 more steps than I wanted it to. But I might just be able to do a quick step run while I'm talking about this. There is a way to find out the name of that. What you call it? The name of that account that we haven't found. It is actually a combination of things. We know already that it was an unusual... Good. We're going to want that. With that being the last day, I wasn't sure if it would come back today. Oh, sorry, I'm getting very distracted trying to get everything lined up in my head. But the final account for the grotto, we know it wasn't the typical length. We actually find it in the book. It's kind of useless, actually. Yeah, I get one step back and an orange. We're going to try for a step run, though. Oh, this puts me pretty well. But I'll get the key for this, which I do want. What else do I want? I just want steps, really. Hallway. Do I have a key card? No, I don't, because I ended it in the place again, that's right. I won't need that kind of stuff. Can I get a shovel? No. Nursery will be nice. Sure. Can't afford it. Yay, love it. Workshop because we have hallway. Sledgehammer's nice. Good. But yeah, when we go to the grotto, we'll talk about that. Is basically all I'm going to say. Because I'm too busy having to keep my brain in multiple directions. It's basically the center of it. Also, just for kicks and giggles, I want to have some stuff on me when I go into the atelier. Apparently is the blue area we were in yesterday. It's the name of it. Don't care about that. Actually, I should care about that. Oh, corridor, I guess. We're going to Banner of the King. Honestly, yellow. Because there's stuff I want to buy before I go into the atelier. Bacon and eggs will help keep my step count up. There's that, and there's nothing else. Let's go on the other side now. Pantry keeps us moving. Courtyard technically goes up, but, you know. I'm kind of being a fish right now. There's lots of things I could talk about, but I don't want to go into things that don't matter at the moment. So that's all pointless. About the storeroom. So yeah, things that are completely unresolved. There are places that symbolize the swan as a Raja. There are other places that symbolize it as Morajai because Morajai's symbol is white. There's this little, almost looks like a lockbox, but we have no idea what that is. No idea what that does. No key seems to go to it. So, you know. Supposedly, the in eclipse, which is the moon we keep seeing literally everywhere, it's always the in eclipse. I think we've talked about it maybe some. Happens on day 46. I'm not entirely certain about that, and some of the ballroom imagery seems to connect with that, but nothing's ever come of it, so again, we have a lot of loose threads and not a lot of things to do with it. Oh, yeah. These 4 statues don't seem to go to anything that we know of. I mean, the monk here is obviously the one in the East Garden, but like, what does that mean? We don't know. It doesn't do anything. There's very obviously a stained glass behind here, but no one knows how to move this. Showroom, here we go. We wanted that. Baby, can I get the moon pendant and the emerald bracelet? Not the moon pendant, okay. We'll take the other 2 that I can afford. The master key won't be of any use to me. Interesting that it's there. Anyway, that's post-game lore at this point, because no one even knows what that means. Yeah, it's the same stuff. Okay. I kind of wanted to have... I don't care. kind of wanted to have something else. So, relevant points. We met the person Orale in the library books, right? She is the one in the attic with in the chair, basically. We saw her in the chair in the big picture. Yeah. Can't even take much from me anyway. Treasure trove, maybe you can. Planetarium has a fixed number of permanent stuff. We'll go with blue on this. Sure. Sacred hour is not technically on the hour. That's true, it's 1:30. I don't have key cards, that's cool. Run is technically a congratulations, minus the showroom. But yeah, she's the one depicted in that. Laboratory, I think. Also, we have gotten the very last of the staff announcements, apparently. Some people have done this over 365 days in-game. And yeah, stuff like that, so we kind of know this is the last one. I think Pantry of the Fruit is probably a good one. Okay, we might not even be able to do that really, but we'll try it. It's in fact guaranteed. 2 security doors and no security. No key card. Master key probably won't unlock that. But we'll go ahead and buy it since we can, you know? Might as well try. Yep. Had utility closet, I could have done that, but did not happen to. Yeah, anyway. Not just happening to lie around, huh? Okie dokie, so we'll go ahead and do the other stuff. First we'll go to the atelier. I have a pantry, I just need to figure out where it is, because it's got fruit in it. By the entrance, all good. That's the best place for it. So we will be doing stupid wastes of steps. I only have 45-ish steps left. That's wonderful. Watch this just restore me to 70 steps as bonus. There's interesting stuff like how this reflection apparently isn't actually a reflection, it's just pre-rendered. Because I didn't actually stop my pantry. Okay. This is going to be a poor run entirely. We will go ahead and do the atelier then, because I won't have it after today. It shouldn't take me 39 steps though, so that's good. It probably will take all the steps I have though. I don't think I'll be able to do Grotto after. One thing to note, I guess a few things to note. Let's take a short pause. We will go ahead and do the blue tip memos, the memos we've been getting on rank 8. I'll go ahead and show those. Carefully. Yes, that's the screen, okay. Pop it up. And this is just because I don't want to draft 45 blue rooms onto I don't want to spend all that time. So we're going to go through it quickly. The mail room has the memo, only 6 of the notorious red letters were addressed to Herbert, which I think we've gotten that one before. Mechanarium, on the coat of arms, the first number is 1 numeral, the rest are each 2 numerals, so like a 12 is XII. or CC is 200 for in the actual case. Music room, there's a major key hanging on the wall in the safe house. That is in fact the phrase, we seek what's in the shade of the truth, or whatever. If you remember in the atelier, we had all those different words for the 9x5 puzzle. That phrase is the blue path that we did at the end. So that's what it means by a major key hanging on the wall. That phrase on the wall in the safe house is the blue path. So that's a fun fact. Nook. The rook can perform a special move within the piece. It's referring to the castling that we did, the observatory. The largest planet in the night sky is named after a paragon of ash. That is Dowager, which is the chimney sweep or whatever, with the little poof in the hand. The office. The king can castle by swapping with another piece. Again, the chest stuff. Pantry. There's a letter missing. So in one of the textures it says coffee, but it only has one E. There's also another number of other places that are missing a letter. Like, for instance, we noticed Matthew in Mary Matthew Epson sometimes has two T's and sometimes has one, so the T is missing. In the train station, there's on the sign, there's an L missing, stuff like that. But the sum of those letters has yet to produce anything. Parlor. Oh, and also, if you may or may not remember, there's a way to update or get more food in the dining room. It's like a special buff you can get. I think it's actually in dare mode, but I don't remember. The extra food, there's also an S missing in that kind of stuff. It has a picture of the dessert, the flam, but it only has one S in it. So missing an S, but yeah, again, nothing's ever come of that stuff. Parlor, the gems are in the black box, because the parlor will just tell you what box the gems are in for that particular day. The planetarium, the inkwell, is not the largest constellation. The largest constellation is actually called the Spiral of Stars. It will generate a phrase of random effects, and that phrase it'll reach an end, but it'll have 99 letters in the phrase at the end of it. Like one day you'll say +2 steps, and the next day you'll say -10 steps, and the next day it'll say gain 5 fruit or whatever. So it'll be this long list of effects, and at the end of that, it'll be 99 letters, and then the constellation will just end, but you have day after day after day different effects being stacked onto each other because of that constellation. And that happens at 100 stars. So that's what that is. Pool. There is only one location in the stick where every room in the drafting pool can be drafted. Apparently that is the outer room with the monk blessing, like it says. Apparently it was just a glitch that our throne room did not spawn there when we tried it once. Pump room. The massive reservoir below Mount Holly receives a natural filtration from the continuous flow of fresh water from 2 neighboring underground springs before making its dramatic exit via a waterfall on the south-facing cliff. We've actually seen the waterfall. You can see it from the elevator area. And the long story is short of that, no one's ever seen what happens when you drain. I think someone may have drained it before, but they have to Alt F4 to forcefully close the game and don't let it save. When they use the effect to drain the, drain the reservoir by 1 point or whatever. We've used the effect, I think, once, but I think everyone's kind of universally scared about it because, like, we want to go back to certain areas and we'll need water. So to drain the entire system of water seems very problematic or scary or something. So I don't know if anyone's actually drained the entire system permanently of all water, because there's seemingly no way to bring it back is the issue. Room 8, the elephant belongs in this bin, and room 8 was just the 7 deadly sins room. There are 4 different methods to rotate rooms in Rotunda. We've seen that. The Rumpus room, the real Alzar was an Erajan soothsayer who belonged to the royal court of Ares. He was banished from the realm in the 15th year of Edgera for a prophecy that did not come to pass. Edgera would be the Middle Era. Or the Second Era. Some people said second for Edge. I think it's middle, personally. But he was an Erajan. And the royal court of Ares, we saw that the Horus king has the key of Ares. That was the castle section. The tomb. Saunas are commonplace in both businesses and residences in Kororka. It's just a, it's a fun fact to just say a possible hint in Kororka is snowy, so saunas would be a nice place to warm up. Surveillance recordings can only be accessed via the terminal located in security. We haven't done that, but we didn't get security today, so I do want to look at those at some point. There are 12 different potential spare room upgrades. Because you have two different, you get spare room to like spare bedroom, spare green room, spare hallway room, or whatever, and then you can upgrade those again. There are 6 permanent additions, which we have all 6 right here. The chessboard in this room contains a portmanteau, the D8 being December 8th, and date. Family core is kept in the family vault. Hint to the locked box. What you call it? The room 8 key in the vault. There were a total of 8 gems removed from the Ruby Crown of Orinda areas. We only encountered 6 in all the safes, and supposedly somewhere there was a note, maybe in the archives, that 2 of the red gems have just been found in the general public. We know that the little paper safe doesn't have a gem in it, so that's going to be one of them, and theoretically the 3rd letter, whatever happened to that gem is also there. Supposedly there is a gem stand in the outside Apple Courtyard. What's it called? Apple Grove Shack. I didn't ever notice it, but I wouldn't have been looking for it, so that's a thing. DC Power's designs for the VAC controls were partly inspired by the gift they received from their client, an original Morajai box, which makes sense. The family core is unlocked only by the sum of its digits. Hint to the lockbox. The sum of the digit is, 53 is the lockbox, which is the family core. But the digits 5 and 3 make 8. I think we talked about that when we were doing it. But, yeah. Her Ladyship Claire Epson was laid to rest on the 11th of June 1983, and also, if we actually go into our annals, the staff announcements, they tell us when our birthday was, so we can actually calculate our own birthday. Because we were 14 when we walked into the room, so we became 15 sometime in January or February, I think it was. The numerals below the coat of arms are 4 different numbers, not 1. So instead of being the year 1213, it's the hint to the lockbox vault. The hint for the family core would be 53. Certain rooms, like mechanical rooms, are more likely to contain security doors, which is just a nice life hack. Morajai notes exist on what each one of them does. On the topic of Morajai, it's been noted that the bookstore books are arranged like a Morajai puzzle, but no one knows what to do with that. Hello. Yeah, we're gonna come back here and do this. I think there's this, as far as what might be left in the game that no one's explored, it's definitely has to do with this area, right? There's hints in here. There's definitely stuff going on. Stake to claim, 2.2 acre plot east of Creek. Odd numbers. 12 dead ends is such a weird thing. Because there's not 12 in this area. The pool, the pump room. People have been saying when you actually go to the north of the vestibule. Actually, yeah, it gives you some of them too. I didn't even remember that. But it does give you some. Cook check. Observatory. These blanks, some people think make a word, but no one knows what it is. Lavatory. Servants' quarters, main chamber, furnace. And if you're wondering, we got to the blue room. The furnace turns into the blue room. It's not just a hidden area. It actually is the furnace unless you take the proper path. The prism. Green, violet, yellow, red, blue, orange, which you have the prismatic key. People think this ties into things somehow with the prism key, because the prism key just has its regular ability, and no one knows what else it does, because it kind of seems like it does what other stuff does. Because, instance, the secret garden key is a way to 2 levers. You have the the room 8 key also goes to the vault. Like, a lot of the keys do multiple things, so the prism key is suspect with this area. But no one knows what that's about. 45. Spare room, solarium, passageway. People have noticed that the solarium, I don't know if it's in here or in the main building, but if you look at the ceiling in the solarium, it has a T, and so there's some rooms that have letters very prominently in the architecture that people don't know what to do that with. People don't know what to do with that. Mount Holly, which is literally this, right? Except the thing is upside down. The blue square is up there below Mount Holly Estate Blueprints. Whatever that says. Something primary colors. 3 primary paths, something like that. But yeah, so this is going to open at some point. That's stupid. There we go. It drafts all the rooms it's going to draft, which I think is supposedly identical. Supposedly every player has this. It's a single version of the house. It will never change. So we come in here. We just follow the rules. So red is... I wrote it. Red is left. We encounter an orange. Orange is right. The gallery. People have solved this. We have, first of all, O, N, but we start here, M, O, N, so the moon. We get that a lot. But there's also, I'm trying to think what it was. Let me look it up real quick. People know what these words are. It's, gotcha. I have it in my head. I have it on the tip of my tongue. One of these starts with an E too. I think. Probably doesn't. Now that I've said that, probably doesn't. Let me pull it back up. Shouldn't be too far from where I'm looking. It was pretty recent from this area. People are talking about the Court Castle, or Court Cloak Castle, and Aries has the binary. The binary spells A-R-I-E, so Airy. You just have to have the S on it. And then there may be multiple meanings for Court Cloak Castle, but the 3 were the name of that area. Where was it? Castle Court Cloak or something was the name of it. So when we go to the security room and get, I won't say that now, we'll get to it eventually. But yeah, there's a lot of puzzles that just help you with the atelier. Where is it about these? I don't think this is what I'm trying to look at. We are looking. Lots of theories on keys, lots of theories on lots of stuff. But yeah, denoted in verse, does it never end, intended rose vine are all anagrams of each other. That's what I was trying to say earlier. Lots of anagrams, lots of comparisons to other stuff. Of course, now that I want to find it, I can't find it. So one of these is going to say oneself. I know that one. I remember that one. See if I can control find this thing. Not seeing it pretty quickly, so let me just search for it explicitly. Trying to read something. Yeah, I don't know. So oneself. Okay, that's what it is. There we go. So, this one says empty. This one is mother. This one is oneself. And this one is swan song. So these are... Empty could be like the empty, you know? The empty statue in room 46. Mother was, AKA that's, our mom, specifically. Mother would be her mom, Lady Ibsen, Clara. Oneself would be herself. And then swan song is theoretically us. Because if you actually go through the letters of the path we take, it spells swan song exactly as well. Okay, so orange, we take a left. Orange is a right. Okay, orange is a right. Orange is another right. The library, who has nothing but these and the thing. Red is a left. Red is a left. Red is another left. Observatory. Purple is a straight. Music room. Orange is a right. Orange is another right. I think I said that wrong, by the way. Swan Song. I forget what it was. Swan Song has to do with this path too, but the path, the rooms themselves are just we seek what lies in the shade of truth. Purple straight. Red left. Purple straight. Purple straight. And red left. And we get a blue moon on what used to be the furnace. We walk in here. Oh, it's just sitting here. Okay, there we go. So here's what we didn't see last time because I'm stupid. Last one testament of me, the Baroness Orove. I, Orave of Mount Holly, architect, mother, and reluctant baroness, being weak of body, but of perfect mind and memory, thanks be to Orinda, do make and ordain this document my last will and testament. As I commit my final wishes to paper, may be done so in the tapestry and color of my life's work, aka blue. May it be written under the tree of creativity in the shade of truth that has sheltered my loved ones from the villainy of country and countrymen, aka Orinda Aries, I think. If not Orinda Aries, then it is Finn Aries. In the same spirit of defiance, I hereby revoke all wills and codicils heretofore printed on common, hueless parchment, aka common inheritance. So, like Uncle Herbert, would not be a valid inheritor. I, first being somewhat religious, gave my soul to Rinna, my ashes to Vea, and my remainder to man. How that relates to anything, no one yet knows. As will be detailed in the pages and clauses that follow this foolishly superstitious passage. In the second order, should my husband, Baron Thomas Sinclair, survive me, I grant to him his choice of sentimental keepsake he may wish to retain in remembrance of me. As our union was never founded on material dependency, I make no provision for his future, nor for my eldest son Herbert S. Sinclair, as he will, in due course, inherit his father's titles, enterprises, and fortune. However, the estate of Mount Holly, its many forepains and storied secrets are mine and mine alone to grant, and I have neither pledged nor suggested it will be granted to either of my children. Further details concerning this disposition to follow. I do, in third order, bestow upon my youngest son, Simon, my library, including its books, manuscripts, and musings, for I have long believed that Simon, much like myself, finds greater delight in the realm of imagination than in the mundane realities of everyday life. I hope he cherishes these books, for within these pages lie doorways to endless worlds of wonder and knowledge. Fourth order, one that I suspect will intrigue those that I leave behind far more than the previous provisions, I hereby bequeath the entirety of the aforementioned estate Mount Holly to the individual that discovers the hidden room that contains the blue pages of this document, hence styled the Blue Testament of Orave. It is my firm belief that the challenge of uncovering this secret far outweighs my other measures of worthiness, and thus I entrust my beloved home to that deserving successor without regard to the years that may pass or the familiar connections to my descendants who may have incidentally assumed possession of the estate in the interim. In the event that any of my relations or future kin are living on the estate when this worthy successor locates the Blue Testament, measures shall be taken to ensure their continued residence without fear of eviction or forced removal. The estate, being of generous size, is more than capable of accommodating multiple parties without inconvenience. It is with the understanding, however, that preparations for eventual relocation should be made, as such leniency will not be afforded to subsequent generations. I do hereby constitute and appoint my colleague and fellow practitioner of architecture, Quarterus Alicius Aaron of Trinsdale, the exclusive charge, and office of executrix of this instrument, aka female executioner, executor rather. If ever the 46th room of my Mount Holly is discovered, and the Blue Testament of Orave be delivered unto her hands, or unto any of her descendants, I do ordain that they shall bear sole dominion and direction to override and render null any and all prior arrangements heretofore made in my stead, or in the name of my seed. I trust in her, and in the generations that follow her, to fulfill this role faithfully, in steadfast adherence to the wishes laid out in the foregoing pages of this document. Lastly, I leave a final message to my worthy successor, you who have reached this final room, you who unearthed these pages, hidden among the blueprints, buried beneath cryptic words and the prophecies of the past, you who have spent countless days wandering the chambers and passageways of your own curiosity, scouring for clues, hoping for answers, striving for that which you knew might forever elude you, to you for whom satisfaction is a fleeting companion, to you who stands now at the end of your journey, triumphant, exhausted, and justly proud, to you I grant that which, in life, I have given to no other, my esteem. In witness thereof, I have hereunto set my hand the 16th day of April 1952, Orave of Mount Holly. So now we are, in the blueprints obviously, but this is the true room 46, not of Uncle Herbert, but of his mother, who had kind of set all of this together. He was more or less reinventing what she had already done. Also, these tiles are strange, and I'm fascinated by them. It's probably just a graphical issue. I'm taking a picture of this order just so I have it as a reference. So I'm not gonna, it's pretty hard to get into here, so. The clock has no time. Cuckoo clocks only have the holy hour, the sacred hour, whatever it's called. So yeah, otherwise this room is fairly unremarkable, but we have that, so let's go ahead and leave. And again, parts of this area still seem unsolved, like the words and stuff. The words that we generate and that kind of stuff could still have more meanings, but by and large, that's the point of it. 17 steps, we might still get stuff done then. Okay. The tomb. There was that note by, everything seems so bland after the blue room. Holy crap. Saturation is a crazy thing. But the note by Clara Epson's grave, when you translate it, says, hold on for 1 second, I'll pull up the translation real quick. To my first Iris. Iris is untranslated, we're thinking maybe child. Actually, I can show this to you real quick. And this may not be a conclusive translation, but it's everyone who's translated has gotten pretty darn close to this. So it's effectively the translation. Boom, boom, and show it off. Okay. So right here we have the actual note. There's some V's that are not quite right in it, but To my first Iris, you are my day, you are my night, you are my world. To you I gift my house in the south. Tomorrow you are without me. Tomorrow I leave you forever. But first I bid you to heed my word. You are an odd Iris. You are not House Sinclair. You are not House Epson. Forget your dreams of the north. Your name is Ja'ari. It is your time to go south, away from Finn, away from your father's dreams, away from your dreams of being a father, question mark. It's kind of, Arajan is kind of hard to translate. But towards Araja, towards the south, a new future. Farewell, my Iris, your mother. What we know is that it's next to Clara Epson's grave. The only person who would identify as House Sinclair and House Epson that relates to her is her daughter, Mary, our mother. So it's probably to Mary, and it's saying, hey, even though you're born between Sinclair and Epson parents, you're not. You're actually Ja'ari. What we find out through the blue notes, if we can go back to that real quick. Where was it? We read one, I thought. If not, I missed it. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's missing that list. Hold on. I have another list. I have all kinds of lists. I'll just look it up. Hold on. New 10 demos. Blue tints. This one I was just looking at, probably. Secret. Okay, here we go. You don't see what I'm seeing. Going to switch to the correct window. There we go. So the Foundation, we kind of talked about, but I'll go through all of them now. Despite the Directorate being reorganized and renumbered several times throughout the years, the Foundation has always maintained its position as the first floor plan of Mount Holly. Entrance Hall doesn't have one because you can't get it on the 8th thing. Although you can get it outside, you can actually draft it in the outside room with the blessing of the monk. Spare room, there are 12 different potential room upgrades, we got that. There are 4 different ways to rotate rooms, we got that. The gems are in the correct box. Bullseye operation can trigger multiple times. The titles are synonymous, or synonyms rather, because think, ponder, such and such, you know. The elephant belongs in this bin. The closet was one of the original 46 rooms of Mount Holly. Walk-in closet related to Claire Epson was laid to rest on such and such date. Attic. Simon Sinclair was born 3 years after Herbert Sinclair. There are 6 permanent additions. The rook can perform a special move. We know about those. In the garage, the license plate of this car is an acronym. The license plate is Swan Song, but has no vowels, so it's SWN, SNG. And people are trying to decipher that, like south, northwest, and stuff like that, but who knows. There's a major key hanging on the wall in the safe house. We talked about that. The memo next to this is a lie in the locker room. The green memo, I believe, is the Kirk Darren as a pseudonym. It's actually a lie. The din, the sin associated with this room, is often associated with one's use of time, aka sloth, which ties back to the room 8 hints. The wine cellar, the numerals below the coat are different numbers, not 1. Trophy room, there were a total of 8 gems removed from the root recrown of Orinda Aries. We saw that one actually. The majority of the gems found in the house are artificially produced. We saw that was one of the things about the gardener who turned blackmailer, was that he wanted to come public with the fact that Cinca was artificially growing gems for value. Pantry, there's a letter missing. Again, we talked about that. Talked about the Rumpus Room guy. Alzara. Family core is unlocked only by the sum of its digits. We know about that. Ginkin Castle, we know about that. Months are slightly longer than days is in the drawing room. The short version of that is that 2 possible understandings. One, the women's steps, the gates, are slightly longer than the men's. I don't know really how that ties in, but people have talked about that. But there's also that the devoted moon, we've seen it in the maps from the classroom. We have the map in the top corner, we have the devoted moon and the rogue moon. The devoted moon's orbit is listed as 24 hours. No one really knows what to do with that, but that's a thing. The study was the D8 detail. Library, if you have a hall pass, bookshop will be more likely to be drawn while drafting in the library. Cool, just random fact. One thing about the bookshop is that people have noticed its floor plan is different, like how it looks on screen looks different from how it actually is. So people are looking for secrets in there, but no one's ever found one. If an item would be spread into the Chamber of Mirrors, 4 of those items are spread instead, because you have all 4 sides that are identical. The pool, talking about the outer room, drafting studio. So the full directory comprises of 46 numbered rooms plus 8 categories of 8 rooms, 46 plus diamond 46, and we know the diamond operator is to reverse the numbers, so 46 plus 64, which means there's a total of 110 rooms in the whole listing. We already know about utility closet, the boiler room, the high pressure condenser box is connected to not 1 but 2 room power boxes. One of those is the top area in the gear room. We went to one side and got the red letter. We went to the other side and saw a room that no one's ever accessed, which is supposed to be a castle being unearthed, an Orinda Aries castle, but I can't really look at it in enough detail to really make that assessment. The other power box is in the, actually we didn't get a boiler room, so it won't be open today. I'll have to do another day. Okay, but it's in the, on the way to the other blue room, in the tunnel. Okay, so the pump room. The massive reservoir below Mount Holly receives natural filtration. We talked about that. Security, surveillance recordings which you want to access can only be accessed via the terminal located in security. Workshop, certain rooms like mechanical rooms are more likely to contain security doors, which we know about from experience more so than anyone telling us, but the laboratory is just some lore. Cinca Inc., founded in 1933, has 2 facilities, Cinca Labs in Reddington and Cinca Court, a 16-story facility located in downtown Oris, featuring 8 floors above ground and 8 floors below ground. Sauna we know about, the code check. Code check is drawn slightly more often the day after checking a new item. which is nice because you want to retrieve it. Mailroom, only 6 of the notorious red letters were addressed to Herbert. Freezer, the ice in Master Sinclair's personal freezer can only be thawed by applying a direct heat source, which would have been nice to know in some other fashion than having to draft it on the 8th rank. There are 10 different dishes that can be served in this room in the dining room. We know about that, or we talked about that earlier with the missing letter stuff. The observatory, the largest planet in the night sky, it's actually in the night sky. This is a typo. In the night sky is what the actual letter says. Is named after the Paragon of Ash, aka Dowager. Red memos were created by Kirk Darren and approved by the Baron and questionably served as the state's primary security system. We actually saw that once. Aquarium, this tank contains a red herring, I think it's literal. But yeah, antechamber and room 46 are fixed locations, so you can't do those. 3 members of the Sinclair family have attended schools overseas in Korarika. Not much we can say about that, but it's a thing. Sinclair's 4 canine companions were named Carter, Thoughtless, Hot Sauce, and Drawbridge. Fun fact about that, there are instances, it's really rare, but in the drawing room you can get a cat that you can have a couple animations of. Not like full cutscenes, but just like it moves around. I don't think we've ever seen that, but that does exist apparently. In eclipses only appear in the north sky, which makes sense because in means north, and from the map, from the Classroom 4, Classroom 5 map, we've seen in eclipse and is eclipse. Now the moon we always see around Mount Holly is the in eclipse. The moon pendant is an in eclipse. But the significance of the moon is still just symbolic. We don't know what it actually does or goes to. It just seems to be kind of a penchant of Miss Orave, as far as we know. Flag colors, green for Nuance, pink for Vera, orange for Korarika, in case you're having issues with the Classroom. Classroom 2, the figure of 8 in its symbolic guise as infinity, has long served as a vessel of both death and the unfathomable. Which is probably why the key 8 does some weird stuff, but also we've seen it in the tomb next to Draxus, the kind of death angel. Classroom 3, the scientific foundation of architectural drafting, combining advanced principles of spatial suspension and temporal anchoring, was developed and refined at the Farius High Institute of Korarika at the beginning of their realm's 15th era. Other fun facts. The western ones, Korarika, Morajai, all of those, seem to be older than Orindia. So that's a fun fact. That's why they have like 15 eras and we only have like 6. It's because they seem to be older. This also has to do with Mount Holly. Apparently that's the technology to make a building like Mount Holly comes from Korarika, that's what they're saying. Of the 3 major expeditions to the South Key, which is another thing on the map, the South Key had the 8 symbol. Only one party ever returned. Cartographers among them conducted a cautious survey of the coastline, but never actually made landfall. So the 8 being a symbol of death, it's also related to that. There is an Antarctica, basically, but they've only ever been able to map the edges. Anyone who made landfall never came back. The illustrations in The Red Prince and Swimbird were made by Marian Marigold herself. It's from the studio edition. In Classroom 5, sorry. Third King of Orindia was the last in the line of Orisk. It's from grade 6, which is interesting because it was the 4th King of Orindia that had the 3 kids and split up the kingdom among the 3 of them. So apparently he was not in the family of King Oris. Classroom 7, the 3 advanced operations of modern mathematics are squaring, inversion, and rounding. So it basically tells you what the square, the diamond, and the tennis ball mean. Classroom grade 8, Lune is the Arajan word for water, which we actually see somewhere else. Essa is the Arajan word for love. Joro is the Arajan word for father. These come into handy when you're actually trying to translate the letter in the tomb. So that's where we get some of those important words from, is from this Classroom grade 8 note. Class him for the final exam. The answer of the exam's final question is equal to its number. That's answer 46. On the coat of arms, the first number is a numeral. The rest are each 2 numerals. Planetarium, the Inkwell is not the largest constellation. Talked about that. The family core is kept in the family vault. So this is all of them, though. This is all of the possible Room 46. Or, sorry, all the possible blue tint memos, which is gotten from putting a blue room, one of the 45 blue rooms, onto rank 8 up here. So yeah, that's all of the memos, which help you to translate the Eragon note. Which again just goes to say that probably because we have the House Sinclair, the House Epson, probably Lady Epson was dying and her daughter was very political. So she's saying, stop. Okay, so let me back up. In the will, Uncle Herbert, / Great Uncle Herbert, says, if the conditions for us receiving the inheritance aren't met, all of it gets donated to the Orinda Foundation, and he awaits when the black flags will fly again. So he's very political. He wants Orinda Aries to come back. Our mom seems to be of the same mindset because she steals the crown. Her individual motives are debatable, but the group seems to want the black flags back. And so her mom says, "You're not Sinclair, you're not Epson. Forget your dreams of the North. Your name is Ja'ari." Apparently Yenna, people have been able to translate into queen, and so it's a royal family thing. Ja'ari is a royal family thing, like just a royal name. The fact that J and Edge could be inversely related to Edge, we've already said, is either second or middle, and we do know that the daughter was the second child of the king who had 3 kids. He had a eldest son, a youngest son, and a middle daughter, I think it was. And so the whole Ja'ari thing could be a connection to her. She was in charge of Arajas, that's why Araja remained out of the war, why the royal family fled south, and eventually some of them apparently came back. But yeah, so Claire Epson is telling her daughter in the note, your name is Ja'ari, you are this royal family. It's your time to go south, away from Finn, away from your father's dreams, toward Araja, toward the south, a new future. Farewell, my Iris, your mother. So that's the common understanding of the note. We will go over the recordings when we can, but in the book, A New Clue, there's a list of suspects. We also have the fact that in A New Clue it gives us major equals small name, and the smallest set of names is this Bob Lee, I think it was. And so we have Lee B, and that's the last account. That's actually not, I want to get to that, but that's not what I wanted to do in the first place. User database, it still doesn't show the 3 additional, but the 3 additional delisted keys are Lee B, which is the dummy account. Then we have Moms under her fake name, and we have Philip White under a fake name. So the admin logs, we already know about the terminal cables, the terminals in the estate, the Baron with the name of the network, Blackbridge, maintenance report, we know about that. Yeah, so this one, admin log, restricted to the following admin keys. Lee B, Prov C, which is fake, and Han U, Hound U, which is fake. These fake things are written by our mom. Based on the actual admin records, our mom was writing these as breadcrumbs to would-be followers. People have tried putting in these other ones, Prov C and Hound U, but they don't seem to go anywhere. Lee, we are planning something later this year and need to make sure communication on here is not being archived. Are there additional steps we can take to ensure privacy? Are taken care of? We're not bypassing message archiving. Randolph shouldn't notice anything out of the ordinary. Good, no one else in the estate knows we're here, other than Mary, of course, who saw Lee on Tuesday, but Hound has a plan to take care of her. If it must be done, it must be done. Just see to it that the body's not discovered. The last thing we need is for the Red Guard to be snooping around here. She won't be found, rest assured. Let's disperse for now. I'll meet you at the safe house in Redington in 4 days. Then, once the inquiry is over, we will proceed with our plan for the museum. Resuming operations. Welcome back, Lee. I've been camping out of the old schoolhouse for the past month, waiting for your return. It's spacious, quiet, and should prove to be an effective base of operations, outside the purview of the staff and the Baron. We should have an opening on the first day of September. Can we be ready by then? I don't see why not. Negotiations for transportation are in the final stages. If all goes well, we will have air passage to Nuance secured for that date, when in fact our mom fled to the southern border towards Araja. Possibly in obedience to where Mom said, forget what she stole the crown, gave it to our uncle, but then she's like, I'm done, I'm going to Araja and carrying out my mom's wishes, kind of thing. Seems to be what happened. I think Moore is planning a scheduled maintenance soon, so we should likely wrap up here. I'd say it's time to scrub these logs. They might fall under some scrutiny in the near future. Proxy, Hound-U, and Lee be delisted and deleted from the database. Non-temporary access to the database restored. Updated stuff. RT is done. Per request, it's been added to the network. Rot H, welcome to the team. Kim. Changing the guard in preparation for Simon. So all of that is a false flag to the Red Guard who are coming here. They logged on with the fake name. They saw the fake things and thought, okay, she's been kidnapped, killed, whatever, by the people who are quote-unquote hiding out on the estate, so they're not associated with the estate, actually, when in fact the Baron and Randolph were very much implicated in this. Again, what role Philip and Caleb had? Caleb Manning and Philip White were co-authors from the books that we have. But exactly what role they have compared to the staff is a very big question. It's still left open. But while the records say that Mom was killed by people who were hiding out on the estate, and that they fled to Nuance, I have no alarm going off. The truth is that, obviously, the staff were helping Mom. She hid out here for a while, then gave everything to Herbert, left, and fled for Araja, not for Nuance. So we will go ahead. I don't think there's any purpose in calling it anywhere. Yeah, I'll just call it in showroom for the heck of it. If I can reach showroom, I don't know. Actually, I've got Spirit Master bedroom. That should give me extra steps tomorrow, so that'll be good. We will call it here and do another day to see the recordings that we know we can get from the security terminal now. And to kind of finalize other things. Alrighty. We did not stand a chance on that one. But yeah, so now we know about the note. Now we know about as much as we can know about the atelier or the draft house, the blue house. Now all that's left is back to the dungeon. An extra 10 steps because it was a master bedroom. I'm gonna try and get the break room if we can. Not for any particular reason, just because I like it. I like having a key card the next day. It makes me feel safe. I want the parlor for the extra key. Go ahead and take a den is fine. Whispering Hall is fine. I still see things. I'm like, has that always been there? The answer is probably yes. Conference room is fine. I don't like none of these. Let's do kitchen for the heck of it, just to see if we can see the spelling issue. Yeah, the cat is apparently the lore in this, because fun fact, this food will slowly disappear over the course of the day. And with the watering pail, you can refill the water from the sink. So those are fun little goodies. They don't mean anything, but they exist. I don't want to use my gems up. There's also supposedly somewhere. Was it not in here? Was it in the dining room, I think? Nice. Yeah, no one's ever done anything with this. It just seems to be another funsy. Although the solution is full of really strange words, and so I really don't feel like I'm gonna believe it. But this is apparently Orave right here with the moon pendant. And if we get the attic, we will see the older version of her. Oh, I don't want that, really. Bacon eggy. Hello, Rook. Yeah, if you notice, white, red, purple, blue, whatever that's supposed to be. That's supposed to be a yellow. Maybe the white's supposed to be a yellow. But picture that just for the heck of it. Security, that's the one we want. Bingo. Okay, so let's log on to security. I don't know if we have to do it here or elsewhere, but if we put Swansong HSS in this particular terminal, that's how we get to see the video recordings. So the normal password is Swansong, but in the TV stuff we saw in the attic, we had an O in the attic, and then in the secret hideout area from the reservoir, you have an A, and so you're looking like O is for office and A is for attic, and so you look at all the screens, and it's actually Swansong HSS, which stands for Home Security Surveillance, apparently, and not Herbert S. Sinclair. Security footage. Library. And also that's what we're seeing in the pictures. It's actually stills from the footage. We have someone in the background and someone reading. what we're looking at, really. It's too dated and too graded and too horrible. It's a man in the background, very obviously. And maybe a woman sitting down. Couldn't tell you who, though. He seems bald. Actually, that's probably Caleb Manning. Caleb Manning was a baldish guy. Or Philip White, or whoever. You know the pictures we saw the three of them in? One of them had a bow tie. This is probably them talking about books. Couldn't tell you which books, though. These are in dated order, so we will see the order things happened in. Entrance hall, nothing looks out of the ordinary. Same two statues, same thing in the middle. Chandelier. We have someone walking in, which I was hoping for. Somebody, you're reading a newspaper. Again, it's probably Caleb Manning because he looks bald. I'm assuming Caleb Manning is the bald one. I don't know. It could be Philip White, but he just seems like a Caleb to me when I look at his picture. He walks like a Caleb, you know? I wonder if that's the same newspaper that shows up in the morning room. Also, look at the left. Is that binary? Well, the lines I'm looking at binary, actually. Is that a weird thing? I don't even know if y'all could see it. I might have been in the way. We'll just see if it pops up on this one. If not, I'll play back the last one. That really looks like Mom. Because of the scarf. Also, nice PS1 graphics. I really, as much as it sounds like I'm being sarcastic, I'm not. That's a route on the map, by the way, in the train station. The map. That route is the one that they took. If you look closely at the chair area, kind of either one of them, but I'm looking at the one to the left, I'm seeing things scroll back and forth. Is that numbers or is that something? Is that just jagged lines? On the white and black, is that just jagged lines? Also so the difference in the draft and final copies of A New Clue, it says show the full route. So they pulled out the map a little bit further from the original. So this is probably related to that. The map has to do with, for instance, tin or fork. They said replace it with something that meant tin. Replace the fork that was with something that meant tin. And they chose an apple, banana, and orange. Well, the 10th station is tin or fork. But there's a lot of back and forth with... Yeah, we have footage not found on certain dates, which is still up in the air. No one knows what that means. 1990. 1991. 1992. And 87 was also 1993 is last year. That's a lot of them. We don't even have dates either. Technically, this game starts in like November, so 1993 was the year before that. It starts November 1994. This is maybe not then. This is the will. I skip? Yeah, I can. So the parlor is where the will is read. Right, yeah. Okay, this is when we first entered the security office. Is sometime in November.
And as
Oh,
it
and these are
was
the
foretold,
archives for his stuff.
I am awakened.
Okay, we don't have all of his. We only have 5. Oh, here's the castle. Yeah, the binary is 3 numbers. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 numbers, ARIE. Or 4 sets of numbers, which ends up being ARIE. There's one more I think that we're going to get today. And then there's the last Rumpus Room clue, I think. And then there's nothing for 1994. So 89, 90, all of these don't have footage or sus. But so far nothing goes to that. 93, regardless of what date we actually do things in, 1993 is where they go. Whatever reason. And some people are linking that to the thing where Herbert, the will where Herbert says he wants things done in a timely manner. So like do it all within day 1, for instance, or have stuff done by day 46. People are wondering if that matters. But again, so far aside from the trophy, there is no indication that matters. So I will go ahead and show, if I can't get Rumpus Room today, I will show what the Alzara videos all say. Because, you know, we have a right to see that, right? People have a right to know. This way. Corridor. I need gems, I'm not going to use the parlor for it. Commissary. I can need a gem to buy the commissary. Crying. Morning room, that'll work. That'll give me gems. Get the rabbit's foot. So we know it's been something like 4 to 6 years since the disappearance of our mom. We know that that statue is inaccessible still. And the boat and everything else that's in this yard, even though it's completely closed in, as you can see on that far side. Which sucks. Like, it totally seems like an explorable, closed area. It has not been added to the game as of yet. That's what people think. Show me Rumpus Room. Rumpus Room is blue. I can try and force it. What was I trying to get also? I'm going to try to get Rumpus Room. I think I know what I was trying to do. I do need the, that'll actually be useful. So I'm going to have a hard time having the gems. We know that the ballroom says, in Eclipse Ball 1952. We know that this says stuff like, go at the end the clock strikes 12. What that means only time can tell. 2 remain for one last dance and spin again around clock hands as they turn a second chance to rise above the falling sands. True time lost in past romance. The what you call it? You know? Yeah, that thing. The chronograph has something to do with sand, falling sands, and it's a reversing time kind of a device. But what all this means, no one knows. It's just like, there's enough threads that people think there's still more game to either be added to the game, or like they've got plans to tie stuff in, and so they've left these threads in order to tie stuff in with. Or if there's just a lot of secrets that we haven't found. So that's kind of the debate currently. Whether there is stuff to find or not. Attic I won't have enough keys for, what a shame. But I can get keys from here, or not enough gems to find, which is a shame. Break room. I guess I can show off the, I was talking about the bookstore. So if you look at it, right, I'm trying to think of what it was. The actual bookshop is not laid out like this. And if you see the table with all the books, those books are a grid of 9 by 9 that are all colors that show up on Moragi boxes. And so people are like, there's something to this. But no one's ever found anything meaningful for it. That's why people are still looking at that floor plan. It's because it's like, there's some weird stuff going on with that. 4, 16, minus 5 is 11. Times 2 is 22, divided by 11 is 2. Not too bad. 5 divided by 5 divided by 5 is 1/5. Times 10. Apparently the 2 dots means double it, not do it twice. But in most cases it's the same difference. So 1/5 times 20 is 4. We have the slash, which means to have it, so it kind of makes sense, but... storeroom will give me gem and keys, so why not? Wasn't going anywhere with this room anyway, so... might as well. We can go back to foundation, we can open the thing up. We have 4 keys. 4 keys with which to open 4 doors. Gallery's fine, I guess. Yeah, I want to keep my gems. I actually want to get more gems from the gallery, so ha ha ha. Here's the key that does things that are unfathomable and unknown. Here are the 4 synonymous names. There's the symbol of death and uncertainty. Study's probably nice. Not that I'm going to use them that way, but it's just nice to have stuff. Get a free gem. Guess they're all like that, but I don't remember all of them having that wheel. And the fact that the boudoir has a pattern on it, I'm trying to find stuff that lines up with that still. But again, more unsolved puzzles. Why we can spin some of these as unsolved puzzle. Some of them are big and some of them are small, unsolved. If you're looking for unsolved puzzles, this game has several. This guy is a big unsolved puzzle because, again, why can we just look at him like this? It's so weird. I'm gonna say, what special keys do I have? I have the key of 8, that's what I have. Not really desirable, but I might as well. Yeah, this is the one that has no gem. It's somewhere out in the public. Here's the sextant, by which we see in some of the map details. As you can see, there is a bench and a rock set, a boat, and a tree with no leaves, which might be relevant to something somewhere. We have blueprint drafts, which are all of seemingly the same room. As you can see it here, or a room pair. Right, you got these 2, with the 6 chairs, and then the 2 end chairs. And then again right there, 6 chairs and 2 end chairs. Right there it's covered, but the other side isn't. Little small thing, 3/4 got a line on it. Little small thing with 3/4 got a line, or half really, has a line on it. My guess is a library. Because it's only got 2 doors, because there's a table in the middle. If it had 3 doors, it'd be conference room or dining room. But it only has 2 doors, so my thought was library. I don't have a slightest idea on the small one. Maybe furnace. Couldn't tell you. No obvious doors on it, so who even knows? But I'm not really lacking in I mean, rerolls cost gems, right? So let's go ahead and do that. That's fair. trophy room with a big black lines, kind of look like a sword or something on it. Spin another big globe. What it means, no one knows. Admire the large percentage of puzzles I have solved. This is for the drafting studio, the 20 dead end rooms, Dare mode, curse mode, and then having every trophy. So, fun stuff, fun stuff. We can afford the attic now, which is nice. We will go see the picture of Lady Orave. I'll have to try for Rumpus Room from the other side and Boiler Room. Hopefully I'll get more keys. Can I get a key, please? So many gems. I don't really want gems right now, actually. People have noticed some things with the 4x4 boxes. I think it's a stretch. Nothing will even be known until the Derengi box game gets in there, but this is Thomas with his sons, I think, or Lord Epson. I don't remember which is which anymore. Actually, it's probably Lord Epson. The fan, and then this is her. If you look carefully, you can see the moon bracelet, the moon amulet, the moon necklace is what's called, and then the emerald bracelet on her wrist. That keeps you from having to draft gems, and the moon necklace keeps you, gives you 2 items when you call it a day. But yeah, she seems very wily, but very, wise and smart, and smirking at the camera like y'all don't know nothing. But she is Lady Orave, so that's who this person is. What else she may have going on is a good question. I kind of want to get her other hand. Hold on. I can't tell if it's just some dirt or what's going on with it, so I don't want to look at it. Where is the picture I just took? Here it is. Yeah, it just seems like damage to the photo. I don't think she had a tattoo. Couldn't tell you, and you can't zoom in on it in-game, so, It is what it is. And now we'll be coming through the conference room, trying to get to the last, the boiler room, as well as the rumpus room. We have tons of steps, so we're good on steps. We're going down and over. We have only 1 key, which kind of sucks, and we only have 2 gems now, which kind of sucks. But we'll be okay. I know us will be okay. Have you met us? We are very capable, very competent people. That requires the kind of key I don't have. Okay, so this run is kind of over. I need the boiler room to do the final thing, so we're going to do one more run. We're going to enter the break room so this doesn't stop us a 3rd time. Which is why I very intentionally got that. Yeah, other things people have noted, I'm not the only one who sees this. It's like it's very clearly a door, but when you do it on the side of... You see it here and you see it here, but when it's the outside wall, you don't see it suddenly. And so it's like, what's with the drapes? Why can we see stuff through the drapes? Because this one's not like that. This one's not like that, but right in the middle of the room you can see what appears to be a doorway. Couldn't tell ya. Why is the piano so freaking round? Couldn't tell ya. Not the top of it, but the seat and the base. Very reminiscent of the conference room chair, the conference room table, bottom of the middle of it. But yeah, all we have in this entire freaking empty room is a curse of 2 gems. And this picture, which we can only look at, says, in Eclipse Ball 1952. We have 2 chairs. knows what on this side. To be honest, I can't even tell if it's right or left. If it's a table, if it's the 3 chairs. Looks like the table side. But no one knows. It's hard enough just to understand what day is the eclipse, so you know. Also this thing, which it's the parlor boxes. The true box does not always contain the prize. So we will stop here. Call it a day. And this time we'll have the key card. So it's gonna go. We've also been kind of dissecting the different names that you get and the conditions that you get for your mansion, like the of the dead when you have a certain number of dead end rooms, and you can also get a Saint Holly instead of a Mount Holly, apparently. So I don't remember what that one was for, but it is a thing. We now have a key card, which is good. Spare master bedroom, just for the heck of it. We won't walk in until we've got other stuff. Just so we can get premium effects. Premium steps out of it. That's all back in the grotto, which is good. Not that we need it for anything, we're just nice. Let's see what I can get from here. It's a chest I can't open. Another chest that I can't open. Last one's probably good. These are not what I wanted. Workshop will do fine. Never mind, workshop is kind of terrible. Den is good here. As much as I want the dice. People are still wondering what this is all about. Honestly, I'll get dice out, or I'll get gems out of it, so sure. Locksmith, yeah, amateur locksmith lockpicking kit. Can't say that right. Nothing over there. Nothing over there. We got a box. I didn't want to have to use a key to open, but I guess I'm gonna use a key to open. Dice. Hey, I want a dice, you know. Asking you shall receive. Big gear. That's a vase, but it's not the kind of vase that's in the entryway, so... I was like, can I break that vase? That'd be insane. That'd be an insane find. Like, hey, by the way, you can break this vase. People would be like, oh, no way. I'd be famous, people would know my name. But it won't be today. Couldn't be me. Could not happen to me. Oh, no way. Let's keep going. Yeah, dining room's fine. Get our steppies. Because we will probably have to go back over it. We're also looking at how this is the Black Bridge symbol. As well as on the gate is the Black Bridge symbol, the gates that we can't open. I don't really want to spend gems. I don't have to, so we won't. We are making the heck of a run down the edge of this side here. Probably could have done ballroom there, but oh well. Commissary's fine, we can buy stuff out of it. like a sledgehammer. And some jeans. Yay. I don't need the metal detector, honestly. There may come a day when we want that. Today is not that day. These are all unbreakable vases. Music room is valuable. For no other reason than keys. Prism key. It's spelled green, orange, purple, red, yellow. So a lot of these. This one's obviously just talking about the actual sheets are everywhere. The last line is weird though. A half note held is quite the pun. It's weird. Yeah, people trying to see if there's more to that. The noted in verse is just tended rose vine and does it ever end? Which ironically was written by different people. Let's just see if we can get bookstore. We've got commissary, so we can go up there with the key we have left. A new clue, yay! So we have not the dead cases. There's a suspect list with short name is Bob Lee, I think it was. Tanner Fork is just the 10th exit in the station. I think it's a major stop. Tinder Cipher is Red Prince, the Red Book. Draft the Sixes was the Fixed Stars. A new clue is Uncle Aw, the purple one, which is why it's a purple book. The green one, what was it? Lunar Acclaimed? Lunar Renamed? I don't remember. They're all books in the library. Oops, that's the wrong button. Denoted inverse was the only difference here. We saw Lore's word, Jor's name, so short name. For the suspect, the shortest one was Bob Lee. Or not Bob, Bo, it was B-O. Bo Lee. The draft version of this has the in eclipse on here as well, and I don't know what that's about. I don't think anyone's actually done anything with that. Here, the XYZ stops at the 6. And one thing people have talked about in the atelier, it's the 3 lines, add some to 18, there's a thing like that. The false, there's a purple path we took, there's a red path, I think, and there's an orange path. Maybe it's, yellow, orange, and purple. But those paths all lead to the false thing. Well, each one of them takes 6 rooms. So that's what they sum to 18, because all of them pass through 6 rooms. So that's that. That's kind of all people know about to do with that. We still have these permanently. Having been in the atelier, I want to see if these books up here changed any, recorded anything about the atelier. The gallery art name is still weird. Red letter 7, sector keys 8, upgrade discs 16. Apparently the other upgrade discs you can trade for by using special items. Like if I took the emerald bracelet to the store and to the trading post and traded it, I can get an upgrade disc. And it will overwrite what you do, so you can change the angel in your cloister, for instance. Because, for instance, the cloister with Draxus in it gives dice and stuff, apparently, so it's useful to do. All of the contraptions we've done, there's plenty of items that show up that you can't make contraptions from, apparently. We got all the stamps, I'm so happy about that. I want to take a picture of that, actually. Love the stamps. the symbol for the Black Bridge just seems to be the 3 holly berries. Which is interesting because in the story of the Black Bridge, the kid finds all these berries, like, oh my gosh, these are so delicious, I came all this way to get it. And he gets the relic, whatever you call it, at the same time, the cursed relic. So perhaps the cursed relic was on its way to Mount Holly, and the kid's out there picking hollies, and he kills the driver and takes it and dies. But just fun facts about that. And that's everything, so apparently it does not record anything but the atelier. But it's worth looking at. It is an interesting room. Bookstore, 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 bookstore. Yes. The throne room too, though, honestly. Both are great. But we'll look at the bookstore right now, because we walk in, right? So we're walking in from the left side. We have a V here, which makes sense. That's what it looks like. We have this, which I think is suspicious. Can't buy anything new, right? But that's suspicious. We have pink, green, blue, red, gold, no black. So that's interesting. When we look at the Morjai, right? We'd be able to move purple down, black would go into line. I don't know what this color is. It's supposed to be gray. It's probably a gray. Just depends on what you'd be solving for, you know. But then the interesting part is this. We walked in between stuff, but this is supposed to open up somehow. Because if you look on the thing, it's 2 rows. It's not so the floor map looks like this, right? So this is up. We have a V here. When we turn to the left, it's not another V, it's 2 rows. So people are absolutely freaking out about that. Like, why make this into 2 rows? In theory, something in here should move. But couldn't tell you what. None of the books have any names. Nothing identifiable, so it's just like, do we solve some kind of puzzle? No one knows. New clue. So yeah, all people are absolutely grasping at straws. There are some peculiarities about stuff that doesn't quite add up. Also sad we can't like crouch down and go in here. There's something. Was it here? I don't know. Someone was talking about a room where you couldn't actually reach the globe, but there was a spinny globe that you couldn't reach. But that's all beyond me, honestly. To the right. I mean, I always kind of wonder what would happen if you forward straight to it, but I guess I'll dark room. I guess I'll redraw, actually. Kind of a crap redraw. Not gonna lie, that was kind of crap. Cool. Actually, I kind of want to just go in here and solve it, just to see. I'm so confused what I'm doing. Okay, that's the first step. It was white. Nothing. Blue. Green. Red. There we go. I'm just curious if I can see anything from here. No, it's just that way. Nothing extra. but I think the blue note in here is somewhere special. This is a blue room. Speaking of which, we want to have that open. I thought the blue note was supposed to be past that, but maybe not. Oh, here it is on the back. Yeah, so you did have to open it. Yeah, an original Moraj box. Cool. So that was just some fun facts. Were they fun? Did you have fun? Do I have an aquarium? No, I don't. I need a boiler room. I shouldn't use that. Whatever. Mechanarium is a fun one. I don't think I have more than one. And as such, we will walk-in closet. As I strive to get more keys. I succeeded. Maybe Epson, coupon book. How are you gonna give me that? Ain't gonna be like that. Are you kidding me? I mean, I never went to the right, so I still have plenty of options on the right side of this building, but I'll take the parlor key, but you can't now go anywhere. I'll go up here and I'll use the key 8. I won't bother with the allowance tokens, I don't care. Yeah, a lot of big one. Oh, prism key's what I've got. Oops. I can probably use the Mount Holly one here, but yeah. We'll use the clock tower, just heck it. None of these are going anywhere anyway. The only way I could go is left. But there's some interesting stuff you can see from the clock tower. So now we are looking to the west. We see lots of trees and mountains. We're looking to the south. We see the house by and large. Nothing terribly special. It's a house. I don't have a courtyard yet, but maybe that's a courtyard I'm seeing. Can't really tell. It's just a lot of buildings, you know. A lot of various and sundry buildings. Hey, look at that. If you notice, the first letter of each row spells out sacred. That's how you know the sacred time is 1:30. But this clock is actually missing a gear, which is a point I want to recommend to the Discord, everybody, because apparently when you dig in Mechanarium for like a fountain, a gear pops up. I wonder if it's a collectible or not. But what we want to see is this one. What we have is that room, which is small. It leads to that room, which is much bigger. Now, based on where I am, that seems like it's probably the antechamber at best. Maybe not even. Maybe that's room 46. But the big one is either room 46 or a later room that's gone through via the fireplace, is what I'm trying to say. So that's on people's mind. And the moon, obviously the in-eclipse moon, which to the entire rest of the people in Reddington was going out that way. It looks like an is-eclipse moon, but it is an in-eclipse moon from here. So the future is to the north or to the south, depending on how you read it. The Oven Nevare in our motto so in the sanctum area, Oven Neverray is printed on the ground. I think one of the letters has Oven Neverray written on it. That means the future is to the north. But then Lady Ebsen's note to her daughter Mary says, south is the future, go south. That'd be Ovis Neverray. So, anyway, these are things I kind of wanted to look at anyway. Very big, very flashy, very noticeable. Only from Clock Tower, and it's kind of strange. Also, I'm trying to look, is there a brick wall or anything? Yeah, it is. It's a brick building on the outside. Because I've seen brick from the front doors. If you have like a conservatory or something on the front quarters, you can see brick. Guessing that is room 46 then. Oh no, I wish I could see more. But that's that. Moving right along now. We've seen basically everything we want to see except for the boiler room and the reference room. I'm just gonna go and eat this because I'm not gonna come back. I need the steps and I'm not gonna come back, so we're gonna do that. Yeah, the prevalence of the swans, the prevalence of the moon. Definitely makes people think there's more. The prevalence of a lot of things is what makes people think there's more. But no one can actually figure much out after the atelier that we went into. Oh, none of these were fantastic, really. Maid's chamber, I guess. Probably should have done it for keys. Keys would have been nice. If I could zoom in, I could tell if this lady had a necklace. I think she has a necklace on. So this may actually be Herbert, and rather than being Lady Eclair, there's a vague possibility that, not Lady Eclair, what am I talking about? Instead of being Lady Ebsen, there's a vague chance that that is in fact Orave. But I couldn't tell you. I wouldn't know. Oh, this doesn't hurt. One thing that hurts is my pride. It seems very likely I'll need steps to go into the underground to get to the foundation, but maybe not. So give me my gem back. The pool would only give me more rooms I really don't care to have today. I'll take the closet, sure. The bottom room can give me whatever it gives me. When the cat shows up, it shows up down here. Conference room is solid, gives us multiple options into the foundation, which is good because the foundation gives us options to the left. I love that. Yeah, I got 14. I think I can spare one. Especially guaranteed to be unlocked, especially when it gives me a chest with a key and a gem in it. Oh. I'll take free. Free is good. Nothing new about this one. I think we're just good for now. Storm will give me some keys. Wine cellar is tempting, but I just need keys more than I need gems now. Coolio, coolio. It blocks that up, which is fine. I'm not gonna get a left, then I'm straight, which is fine. Observatory works. But yeah, I'm not gonna get 100 stars. Probably I'm gonna end this game when y'all do. Very soon. Also, we have the planets in this room, I never realized. We have them right here too, but we do actually like have them. But they don't seem to move, so that's whereas the planetarium actually does move. Spin big globe and spin small globe. We want options. Give me options or rumpus room or boiler room is the best option we could have gotten. Thank you. I've been waiting on you for forever. Rumpus room I couldn't actually care less about, but how dare you say that about Aljara? Sorry. He's cool, but give me Rumpus room now, because I can open the thing now. Oh, sure, sauna will be nice. Key somewhere for me, because we don't have a gym. Oh, you got shoes, even better. Even better. I think I'm not going to get Rumpus room, guys. We'll have to just look at a video for all the Aljara stuff. Oh, Mechanarium here, it's fine. I'm sure I've got rooms on it now. Yep, the 1 and 2 of the side rooms. If I ever get a treasure map, I might dig in here. It's the wrong side. Oh well. On the off chance I can ever get anything to open this side, which would be what opens this side. Weight room opens this side. No, weight room opens the bottom, which I can't get to. What else? But yeah, this inn is one of the ones people talked about. Inn for north, maybe. What fancies my pleasure? I don't know what I'm looking for here. All are good, none are fantastic. Great Hall and Secret Garden would open this, so. This is noted as a green room, eh? Although it's kind of yellow too. But apparently aquarium is a greenish room. Just taking a picture of that. Other things, if there are not enough of something, it can regenerate them, right? So Solarium and Conservatory can be drafted here. Presumably some of them can't, so it regenerated Aquarium. Like Patio and Terrace apparently cannot be drafted here, so it regenerated Aquarium. I'll do Solarium just to look at it, I guess. Conservatory would give me a nice look too, though. I don't know. Do Conservatory, because Solarium usually is like frosted over. Yeah, you see all of this brick? This all is brick. It's bricked up and I couldn't tell you why. I can make Great Hall common. This fun side effect means that this and freaking rare I did. Okay, good. The fun side effect of that means my one room at the bottom can now become a great room. And I could actually open the antechamber in room 46. The fact that this is bricked in, the fact that that is walled off on the garden is what makes me super sus about this whole thing. Like, come on. You have an enclosed space that I can't access, even though it's pre-limited. You have this big area that I can't do anything with. Like, bleh. Bleh. But with that, we'll go back to the beginning. We don't have a shovel, but otherwise that would be fun. What room is that? Dining room? That's gonna be just regular gyms and stuff. Okay, we'll get the boiler room set up and we'll go to our final thing. Before we do the final thing, we will look at the Alzara stuff. So why did we need the boiler room? Well, it's because we have a red door we have to unlock. I don't know why that's the precondition for everything, but I'm also on the... It's not doing anything. These are pre-filled with certain things. The Dejiri block update may have something to do with that, so we've been talking about that. There's also other places with 4x4, like in the tomb, apparently, that have... That is now lit. That have those 4x4 with certain spots covered. But people never figured out, hey, what's this about? It's probably a Derengi Blocks future DLC. If anything. At this point, it could be nothing. Now we got a shovel. Confirmed. So yeah, we'll keep going. There's a lot of variables that go into why haven't I ever seen a cat, but apparently the cat does exist. It has to like face a certain direction, all kinds of weird stuff, but no one really cares that much, honestly. Cute cat, few animations, it's whatever. So we solved that. The last of the grotto. So we're done with the grotto. There's a lot on the 4th grade maps that people don't understand. I'm still sus of this one. It's the only bird bath that has these blocks. There's also the small set of blocks by the bird bath in the apple orchard. But we will go into the tunnel, which has the shadow of a block of a box that is no longer here. Just a stagnant thing. Although if I stand on the shadow and look towards my light source, I do see this jutting out, so in theory you can still explain it. It's probably not a good explanation, but, you know, it's there. Also, I don't think we can get the cabinet key anymore, because I've never seen it here. Whether it spawns in a new location or not is a different story, but this one has been used, and the other one has been used, and therefore those are probably just permanently unlocked. There's still we had to give power to unlock. Okay. Oh, I have to get those. Whoops. Good thing my steps are more effective outside, because I always forget that. I haven't said, oh yeah, grotto's done. Oh, I need that for down here. On another note, I will have to pull up the... Once I put the stuff in there, I'll pull up the Alzara videos. Sus bird bath, number 1. The fact that this gate is open makes me want to open the other ones. Also note, this bird bath is normal. And there's a bird bath over here that's normal too. Probably couldn't see it, it's in the bushes. Oh, just take. I've also been looking at the binary of flashing lights on some of these things. It's like, I don't really know why you care. I don't really know why we care about the, I don't know if these light up, because in theory, these could be connected to the ones in the freezer. Think there's enough space there. Couldn't tell you for sure, but I think so. Also, you can lock yourself behind this. There's places you can lock yourself behind. If you, for instance, if you do certain conditions, you can drain the reservoir after you get to the secret area, and so you can get yourself locked up in there. Someone's done that before. you can actually sprint when you take out the keys, or at least one of the microchips. You can sprint past that door and it'll be locked behind you. But you just have to end the day. It kind of just screws you, so it's no fun. Nothing secret happens. I want to unlock you. Explain to me how I unlock you. Maybe the Blessing of the Holly or something. I don't know. Oh, yeah, this one. This is the normal one. That's over here. And then, just for the heck of it, again, base, very normal. Here is our stuff. But there are two. It's like, okay, who else is with me? I don't know. But we have 2 tents. Yeah, here's the other one. You have a strange base, and I don't know what to do with you. So we did stuff with this base. We zapped it and we moved it on that one. I don't know what to do with this one. Moving quite along now with the last of our steps. We've still got 40, but I call it the last of our steps because why not? Normal bird bath. Sussy bird bath. I wish we could light more lanterns. It's super dark back here. So, go through the red door. These are pre-lit. Insert these. And go to YouTube. Let's see. This is in fact YouTube. Hello. Yeah, there are 6 LSR predictions. Okay. Let's see. Let me... Hold on. It's not really ready to full screen before I put it on, so we shall attempt to hold on. We shall attempt to hold on. If I can hear that. Can I? How do I? Oh, how do I? Let me mute this. Do this as well. You'll probably hear a lot of things, but...
and the sound of a dropping coin, you find yourself face to face with the great Alzara. And I suspect you wish me to look into your future. The image is becoming clear. I see a boy standing on a shore of white sand. He is looking for something
known as the Isoclips, actually.
A lost beyond the dark waters.
All the ones that we've seen are
What
Ineclips.
you
That is
have
the
heard
Isoclips.
here has been foreseen by the great Alzara. Until the dawn of the following day, I will have nothing more to say.
So it's interesting that that is described as a rogue moon,
And
also
as
it's
it was
interesting
foretold,
that, hold on, let me pause this.
I am awakened.
Interesting commentary, because Alzora is not always true and not always false. It's just relevant information that may or may not be accurate. It's interesting that that is the Isoclips moon and not the Ineclips moon. It's interesting that he calls that the rogue moon. It's marked by a rogue moon. Rogue moon is a smaller moon of the devoted moon. It's rogue because it orbits the second moon. It doesn't orbit the planet. The devoted moon orbits the planet possibly geosynchronously, aka it's kind of in the same place in the sky constantly, and or tidal, which just means the side that faces the planet always faces the planet. So its rotation is relative to its revolution. Big words, don't really care, but there's been some look into the moon details because it's such a prevalent symbol, so we might as well understand it all. And can't get very far with it, honestly, but not with certainty anyway. But it's interesting that he calls that the rogue moon. So it is marked by the rogue moon. It is marked by the Isoclips in his scene, but the Ineclips everywhere we've seen it.
At the sound of a dropping coin, you
Also, I want to mention the Ineclips. One of the blue notes said that the Ineclips is only visible in the North Hemisphere, which means the Isoclips is probably only visible in the Southern Hemisphere. So, whatever that's worth. Like, oh, the North, like, around Aries, Fan Aries is going to, which is debatably at the equator actually, but, you know, northern countries would have more Ineclips imagery, whereas southern places like Araja might have Isoclips imagery, so hard to say, don't know, can't confirm, can't talk about everything beyond that, just interesting things that are showing up.
find yourself face to face with the great Alzara. And I suspect you wish me to look into your future. The image is becoming clear.
Everything's decrepit.
I see the darkened cloud of ruin, familiar to us both, now decrepit, run down, and in disrepair.
Possibly the fate of this place.
I see 8 red envelopes resting upon 8 pedestals,
That means who knows.
and in these 8 envelopes, I see 8 letters penned by 8 different hands.
We know 7 of them because we've read some of the letters.
8 letters of which you will only ever find and read 7.
Though there's debate that number 8
Just
is
like
red.
the art hanging on the walls of these rooms, there is a letter missing. What you have heard here has been foreseen
There's a missing letter and something there, but no one's
by the great Alzara. Until the dawn of the following day,
following day.
I will have nothing more to say. And, as it was foretold, I am awakened at the sound of a dropping coin. You find yourself face to face with the great Alzara. And I suspect you wish me to look into your future.
It is interesting that he was a member of like the high ancient court.
Yes, the fog is clearing. I see a shadow in the doorway.
Perhaps the Red Guard detected one Balmor.
silent footsteps in the hallways,
Well, we're the only ones here theoretically, so yeah, that makes sense.
an unlatched gate you did not open,
Some people are saying that's the East Garden, but that's probably the one that
a
we're
missing item you did not take.
no idea what that reference is. People think it's a lantern there.
I see a young boy watched from afar,
Theoretically the staff. Or is he
a young boy who once was brave, but now afraid.
that ties into us being in Swinburne.
What you have heard here has been foreseen by the great Alzara. Until the dawn of the following day, I will have nothing
Exactly what
more
that ties
to
into, I
say.
can't really say, because for me that sounds like the Red Guard is watching us explore things.
As it was foretold, I am awakened at the sound of a
So my
drumming
mom was a
coin.
suspect in stealing a crown, you know.
You
she
find
was a
yourself
suspect for things.
face to face with the great Alzara. And I suspect you wish me to look into your future. The image is becoming clear. I hear the pattering steps of children running in the forest.
Maybe a reference to the schoolhouse. Specifically the outside schoolhouse.
Joyful echoes of laughter in the courtyard.
Courtyard is inside.
I
so hard to
see an
darkness.
old man. An old man
yes.
sitting in an even older chair. A seed that has served many generations.
Jari, Count Gates, and
Each with their own stories. Each with their own secrets.
the secret has to do with the vault.
Each with their own endings.
Too.
But all in the same chair.
All of them in the
What you have heard here has been
kind of in the
foreseen
footsteps of
by the great
thing,
Alzara.
which was Orve's doing.
Until the dawn of the
Claire
following
was her
day,
husband, so that's where she gets
I will
stuck
have
in there.
nothing more to say.
On the topic of potentially like a royal lineage, the Giari statue might actually be Mary Marigold, rather. And so you'd have Count Gates, I don't remember who he's related to, but old history there. Thomas Sinclair, who was her husband, and her granddaughter, Mary Marigold, are the three statues. There's some debate whether Mary had any hand in the Atelier section, because some stuff seems like it was related to her, but otherwise it's kind of like, no, we think everything's Orve by and large. Herbert definitely never found that. Simon, Mary's father, never found that, but whether Mary actually found it's kind of skepticized. So I guess we'll continue now.
And as it was foretold, I am awakened at the sound of a drumming coin.
So
You
that's why
find
the Atelier
yourself
brought up then.
face to face
Kinda
with
wanna
the
know what the
great
rest of it is, right?
Alzara. And I suspect you wish me to look into your future. Faintly in the mist, I see a figure.
That's the angel in the Veneries.
A statue
City of
cradled
Fenimore.
in a courtyard of sentinel stone.
Yep, that's the general Duffalcore.
You will find yourself one day wandering these paths,
Which means theoretically we could go to the actual
walking
exhibit.
in the footsteps of the past.
This is because this is the area where one of our friends took the crown from.
by the great Alzara.
As far as dates, 12,
Until
15
the
does not
dawn
correspond
of the
to
following day, I will have
8
nothing
that we
more
have at
to say.
12:05. Well, the only two in December.
As it was foretold,
And this one is different. We
I
have not seen.
am awakened for one last time by the sound of a dropping coin. You find yourself face to face with the great Alzara. And I suspect you wish me to impart to you one final vision.
Better trim that finality home, aren't you? It's a train station. Is that a train down or is it just lights? That is, theoretically, that is the Ares area. The fire is the actual tomb. This is a bay with a bridge we've never actually seen. It kind of resembles the Blackguard area. Not the Black,
In the
Black Bridge
dim,
area. In
I
the
see
story.
cavern walls of stone,
The underground.
a hollow lit by a sea of 1,000 burning stars.
That's definitely the Atelier.
I see a treasure buried beneath the cliff rocks,
Key of Ares.
a black mirror hidden among the memories of the falling sands. And within the black mirror, I see a figure. A figure standing in sullen snow.
That would be Morjai, I think, or Kararka. Kararka's a snowy place, but Morjai is white. It could also be ash. I mean, not like that, it's obviously snow, but Solon was sad, right?
All
Chest.
of what I have told you, my young baron, I wish you to now know. Until we meet again some distant day,
And that
I
was
will have nothing more to say.
Okie dokie. So that's the visions. The Black Mirror is completely not understood. Completely. The last thing that we saw, theoretically, could be the throne room. With the white, we don't really know. We know that the treasure box that at the very end was the cursed relic. But how all of this really ties together at post Atelier is so not understood. To the point of everyone's really racking their brains like there should be one more thing. There should be at least one more thing. And no one knows what that thing is. No one can find it. No one can find any clues to it. So we don't even know if it's even in the game right now. So that's what I'm saying. This is going to be the last big lore video because we don't know where to go from here. And it may not even be a place to go from here. So that's kind of what that is. And again, that leads the Atelier to be our biggest source of hints on where to go from here. But what that means for us is completely unsure. So, with that said, let me make sure my controller is still on. Let's get more action. Good, there we go. We shall walk through here. We shall have 2 of these, right? Which is what we want. We have 2 lineup keys. Okay, last time we chose this. And we saw that there was a spiral kind of in it. which, you know, is there no end? Does it never end? This time I'm going to open this box for reasons that I'll explain later, but basically, yeah. This truly is just a plain random box, isn't it? Which is actually very strange to me. Now we'll open this one. This one's the big one. I don't know if the day automatically ends here. It could. Knowing about it is why I chose this one first. But because I don't fully agree with either one of these, it's why I wanted to see what's inside this one and nothing, which granted no one's ever talked about it, but it truly is just nothing, which is wild. Okay, and in here is a blue book. Doesn't have a title, just The Blueprints by Mary Matthew Jones. To my son Simon, in whose eyes I see the world anew. There was a blue prince who sat on a blue throne. He had a blue crown made of sapphires and a blue castle made of stone. The prince had a love for all things blue. It's the only true color in my humble view. He couldn't stand the tint of a hallway or a shop. He couldn't stand the shade of trees in the green rooms brought. He couldn't stand the shade of trees the green rooms brought. He seldom talked to others, for they rarely shared his view, this view. He never went to town, nor saw the flags they flew. And do you know which game the prince would play, instead would play? The one that made him happy whenever skies were gray. A game he had played in the house and on the grounds, and maybe you can guess from the clues that we have found. It was a game full of rooms, and the stories that we climb, about a house full of lies, and the truth that one prince finds. And as you, my reader, may already assume, this game is quite near you, in fact in the same room. A game about you and the plans that you made, about a blue prince and his blueprints. The blue game just played. The end. So as far as, granted this is from Mom, this is not from Orve or anything like that, but as far as sort of this game goes, especially right now, this is kind of where it ends. The game is just the experience. And again, people have, because of the Orve thing, is usually found after this. Almost everyone finds it after this. Then you start going back, like, oh, he couldn't stand the tint of a hallway or a shop. He couldn't stand the shade of trees the green rooms bought. People were like, oh, do we need to make a totally blue house? Does that do anything? You know, people are still trying to push through this, but like, there is nothing. There's this, and there's the atelier, and that's it. So this is the end for right now, especially mostly for the lore. Again, I personally have achievements to do, and I want to do them, but this is the end for right now. Didn't actually end anything. I wish we could open all of them. I wish these did anything, actually. But yeah, so kind of a, how do you feel about it? Me personally, this game needs to have a satisfying ending, right? Everything needs to tie up nicely, everything needs to mean something. The missing letters could be like a ha-ha, we forgot one texture to have an E, it was a slip up, and so we went ahead and put this lore thing, like, oops, there's some forgotten letters here because we had typos. I don't care about that. But like, Orve, she has some kind of a last, a blue testament that she talked about in her will. Is that the will itself? It's certainly not this, because this is Mom's book. So, what's going on with Orve? What's going on with, you know, where's Mom at? What's Mom doing? Albaina Raja, living her best life, I don't know, but this is it. This is all we've got. So, the story is, you know, there was, the islands to the left existed, on the west side of the world existed. There was once a King Orus who settled Erendia, or not settled necessarily, but was king over Erendia. His grandson ruled And then there was another king after his grandson, wasn't related to him. He had 3 kids, split the kingdoms, 1 for each kid. Daughter got a Raja, 2 sons got the northern 2. Some stuff happened. King Desolates III was very agreeable, but wanted to live among the people, which was kind of weird for the gentry to do. So he lived among the people. He died. His son was kind of no good, so some Prince Learson, again, he called himself the true monarch, but whether he was actually even a prince or not is debatable. Some guy named Learson called himself the true monarch from Finn, and Finn got super punished, violently punished for it. As such, even some of Orindia's own, or Orinda Ares' own military fought back against Orinda Ares for how cruel they did things, and all of that got heated. Raja stayed out of it. Arch Ares and Nuance supported Finn. 22-year-long war, 1 in 3 people died, including Prince Learson himself. Finn won. They started dismantling the railroads. They started, changing things over. The Black Guard became the Red Guard. The flags are now red flags. The black flag is banned. Anyone who was associated with the old royalty fled to Araja. At some point, members of that group, which included our family, came back. The Epsons and the Sinclairs are somehow... The Sinclairs I don't know about. The Epsons are related to Araja for sure. Probably through Orve. Orve comes back. And she marries Sir Epson. Or no, she marries Thomas Sinclair. And they have Simon and Herbert. Then Simon marries Lord Epson's daughter, Clara Epson, aka Lady Epson. And so the Epson Manor is turned into a museum. And that's actually in Reddington proper. Whereas, and by the way, Oris, the city, Reddington, and Finn are 3 very different cities. Reddington is slightly northwest of Oris, and farther to the west, much farther to the west, is Finn. But the original castle seems to be on Mount Holly property, which is why Thomas Sinclair dug it up. Whether he knew anything about it or not, Orve seemed to know it was here. She had all the draft rooms, she had all of that. Technology to do this came from Kararika, so that's how the whole drafting thing works, but the Atelier is the original draft for the house. So a lot of the puzzle stuff comes from Orve. He's the one who kind of financed the dig-up, so he found all the Orindian lore. And then Simon kind of continued that. But he was no good at the puzzling. Herbert was much better at the puzzling. But he never got the Atelier, because he couldn't figure out all the symbols from the vault clue. Well, the family crest stuff. You got a bunch of words, you're supposed to turn them into numbers and make values out of them and combine it. He never got all of that, so that's that. Mary seems to have, and so how much of a play she had in the Ox building, I don't know, but it certainly affected her. She also had, when her mom passed away, when Clara Epson passed away, she at least wrote a note to her daughter and saying, hey, you are Arajan royalty. All of this stuff, the political stuff with Orinda Ares, forget about it. Ignore your father. Ignore his dreams. Go south. Find your future there. And so, after Mom stole the crown, for whatever the reasons she had, maybe she stole it from Uncle Herbert, I don't know. Whatever her reasons for the crown was, just to finish that part of who she was, she stole it, brought it here. It got repurposed blue, whether by her or by Uncle Herbert, who knows? Because she passed away before, she's not necessarily dead, but she left here before Uncle Herbert passed away. Uncle Herbert was alive when she came back from the theft. So she may have made it blue. She may have discovered the Atelier and Uncle Herbert knew about it thanks to her. We don't know. We know that he never reached it on his own. Whether she reached it and informed him, who knows. But one of the two repurposed the crown from red to blue, and the Red Prince became the Blue Prince by her, and probably the Atelier, as well as her mom's note, really shifted how she looked at the future. Uncle Herbert talks about tradition binding him up with this castle, or with this property anyway. So it seems like everyone's sort of had regrets about holding on to the past. But with that said, it's now been passed on to us. Mom is probably alive somewhere, but after going south towards the border, we don't know what happened to her. Uncle Herbert passed away. He, Simon Sinclair, and who is his brother, and Lady Epson are buried in the tomb. There are other caskets we don't know who they belong to. Theoretically family members, but who knows. In like the deeper section of the tomb, by Draxus, which is also where the original draft for A New Clue and for the Red Prince, the original drafts that were not altered, are there. Draxus represents death in the unfathomable, so in theory, Mom put them there to say, like, I'm done with the Orenda Ares, we're putting this kind of part of me to death. And she left for the south, because that's where her future was, right? That's where her mom said, this is where your future is. Whereas the Sinclairs were very much like the north is where the future is. And we came and learned and inherited. Don't know what the Blue Testament of Orve is, but we have found her will. We have found Uncle's will, so we found both Room 46s. In theory, that makes us the genuine inheritors. And that's the game. That's the whole lore of the game. The Black Bridge was just an association to a myth, which may or may not be historical. We saw that bridge from the last Alzara video, and which is actually shown in the book. If you look in the book, the bridge is actually a drawn thing. But yeah, I mean, aside from a lot of hanging evidence that's like, this should be a puzzle, but we can't figure anything out from it. That's all that we have. We found the king buried in the bottom with the key of Ares. So it's like, this is what it is. And that's kind of the great and terrible story of the current state of affairs with Blue Prince. So, testing. Okay, mic looks good. So, just Hayato of the Future dropping in here. Things I wanted to mention. One, if I sound like I'm kind of disappointed in this game, I kind of am. Not because it's like bad, right? Just one of the priorities, apparently, from the author, creator, whatever you want to call them, was to have a finished game. And if this is the ending, I feel like it was a great game up until quote-unquote Act 3, and I'll break that down. Act 1 being, like, get to the Room 46, the very first, like, mission, and Act 2 being, like, ascending the throne. All of that, very intricate, very well done, very well made, and I liked how much redundancy there was. So, if you did not know things on the front end, there were very few things you had to actually like to look up. And in theory, you didn't have to look up anything, right? But really the hardest thing to understand what to do was the throne room, and come to find out, if you draft the antechamber, I think, or the garage outside as the outer room, and you can use the monk to do that, right? Then that tells you basically what to do. Gives you the big hint for that. And maybe I went over that already, but anyway, point being, it's pretty obvious, doesn't take too much to do. The Alzara visions I ended up getting myself later. I just didn't want to waste time grinding stuff like that for y'all, basically. you will see other things. I've kept up with the game, right? And I have gone through and gotten a few parts of lore that I didn't have before, and you will see those now. So that was the lore of our family, kind of more or less the sentiment of our family coming back. That child being, in theory, Claire Epson. And it's a little bit shaky on how it ties back, right? Because there's birthmarks that don't match up, and people are skeptical about some of it. But in theory, that's what lines us back up to the family tree that we know from the root cellar, and kind of ties that into the old Jirari lineage and the Ares family. So, um, with those under the belt, and the fact that I have kept up with it, the game is really good. But once you hit Act 3 and you're doing the outer blue room, I keep calling it blue room, the blue holly door, um, which is meant to look like Mount Holly as well as a holly leaf. But all that aside, doing that was really niche. Like knowing to get Stillwater. It's like, okay, there were some clues on coring, and so you get that, and you get to the family core, which is 53, and you know supposedly to add up those and it becomes 8. So like the key of 8 opens deposit box 53. It's like, okay, we do that. And that tells us to do Stillwater if you do through all the cipher stuff. And then once you do the Stillwater on the library books, that tells you about the Tinted Rosevine and the other house, per se. Although it doesn't exactly tell you that, but you know, you get some sense on to do the secret passageway outside and use the Stillwater on that. And that gets you to the atelier, and then you have the quote-unquote major key hanging on a wall downstairs, which is we see what's in the shade of truth, which when you go through the atelier like we did and solve each picture, it gives you the letters, which spells out ba 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 ba, you know. Okay, these vine plans is what it was. These vine plans forge barren crest among Hume blessed. Okay, no idea what to do with that. Kind of a reference to ascending the throne, but you know, there's other weird stuff that it could be a reference to, but no one really has it sorted out aside from ascending the throne. Um, and even ascending the throne isn't a great fit, but it is a fit from stuff that we've already done. So it may be a callback to that rather than a hint forward. But getting there was kind of a niche pathway. There weren't like in parts 1 and 2, there were 5 different ways to stumble on the same answer to the same puzzle and to know to do stuff. And so it's really easy to piece together for any individual person. Up till this point, it was very difficult. The Hume blessed bit is kind of vague enough we don't know that that's what it was actually a reference to. So maybe it's another niche clue to something else. You solve the Morjai boxes and it gives you a word per room. And the major key on the wall is the correct word order to do the blue path. So the first room, which is the pantry, has the word we. The other thing to note is that all of those Morjai boxes in each one of the blue path rooms has the holly symbol on the corners. So you're effectively solving for blue in each one of those rooms. That's another way. So that one had decent redundancy if you could interpret everything correctly. If you knew that the major key was the message on the wall and not the map with major and minor stops, kind of a tricky thing to interpret correctly, but all in all, you know, there were some hints regarding the correct blue path. And then again, if you just kind of do the entire poem from all the Morjai boxes, it tells you how to do it. Just, you know, left on red, right on orange, straight on violet, and you can kind of just figure your way starting from blue and get the right answer. So it's kind of okay on the redundancy on that one. That one, when you see all the ways to figure that one out, it's okay. I have no complaints about that. But then for the parlor to not do anything, um, also in the little montage before, that did not show all the things I've done. I've absolutely done, like, I have tested that the clock tower does not work at 1:30 a.m. I have tested by switching my parlor upgrade. Currently, I have it at 3 gems. I switched it for the one that gives you 2 keys, and with all 3 keys, I opened all 3 parlor boxes. That didn't do anything. If you look at the stamp for Arenda Ares, it's Arendia with the crown and the scepter, what looks like a parlor key in the opposite hand, and the moon pendant. So far, that didn't do anything. So, all that to say, it doesn't feel like the ending. So far, it seems to be the ending, what we've already seen. And that's kind of disappointing, because it just is kind of an open thing. We know that we're waiting for a quote-unquote release 1.10, and that will be when the game's complete. The only thing that's guaranteed to be in that is cutscenes. We know that they are adding cutscenes. We don't know that they are adding gameplay. So in theory, all of the game that the game has is in the game, and either A, this is the ending, in which case, again, me and a number of people in the community are kind of like, is this really the end though? Like, that's a kind of a crappy ending compared to how the first 2/3 of the game played. Or B, we have so few hints, it's so obscure no one can find it. The rest of the game, so to speak. And so that's kind of a thing, right? That's a thing to think about. So all in all, this is the game. Also, I have not done Dare and Curse mode. I'll put an asterisk on that. I've started them, so I kind of know what's going on, but I haven't ever beaten them. So I'm going to erase those save files because, long story short, I got kind of screwed with terrible dares anyway. Plus, in release 1.10, they're going to add, I think, unique openings as well. Maybe the unique openings are already in the game, but they're going to add unique cutscenes for beating those two as well. So that's why I'm kind of holding off on those, because I just want to go ahead and get the cutscenes for that. So I'm putting the game down. I'm still in the community and kind of trying things out, right? But as far as recording, releasing, unless there's more to discover, I'm putting the game down. When release 1.10 comes out, I will do Dare mode, Curse mode, and anything new that's in the game. In like the main game, right? So this is not the end of Blueprints, but this is, for a while, the last of the Blueprints, because there's no guarantee there's more content. There's infinite things to try. So for the time being, I am in the community trying things, thinking about things, but I will not make recordings unless something is actually tangibly found. So, with that, thank you guys so much for watching. This is the end of Blueprints, and I will see y'all at release 1.10 with all the new cutscenes, maybe some new stuff from Alzara. That would be nice. Hopefully in these cutscenes there will be some more information to help us. If there is more gameplay, they can be like, hey, we threw in a new Alzara cutscene in which, you know, we explain what the Black Mirror was. You know, so that would be nice. But so far it looks like the Orve and Parlor thing are the end, despite I will also add the complaint that the Blue Throne Room says unlocks all blue doors. If you have 1, it's the blue door. If you have 2, it's both blue doors. If you have 3 or more, it's all blue doors. And so far there's only 2. So, even though maybe it's misdirection, you know what, fair play, but it's weird. And also for the Parlor to be the end. Meanwhile, they have a cutscene on the Spiral box, which was black. They have the blueprints in the blue box. The white box is empty, as you've seen. And they have a message which, if you're in the workshop, you can, on the wall, it says, the prize is not necessarily in the true box, something to that effect. So even if, like, the blueprints and the blue box is the true box, the prize is maybe the true prize, maybe in another box, like the next hint or something. Or the opposite way, because there is a book in the blue box, aka there's a prize in the blue box, maybe the actual true box is a different box. In which case the journey has not ended, or two boxes are true. So the journey never ends. Like they'll release more content, but this is the end of the journey, in which case, like, that's all that there's left currently. It's also kind of weird if the parlor, if the like the second parlor room, the Holly door parlor room is the end of the game. Why is that the first thing I think almost everyone finds? I don't think anyone finds the rough draft house before the parlor room. So it's really weird for that to be the ending. There's also some speculation that maybe also, first of all, undone. The quote unquote Blue Testament is the will in the blue room 46. But there's some speculation that there will be a cutscene added there when you find that, and that's going to kind of signal the end of the game. So who knows, right? That's kind of why I'm, again, putting it down to 1.10, is because you can't really evaluate the ending of the game, because the ending seems incomplete without more cutscenes to kind of wrap things up, or, you know, what have you. But yeah, so that's the end for now. We have loose threads that who knows if they're actually part of something or if they're just oops, loose threads kind of thing. But we will put things down for now, and I will see you in release 1.10.